make you laugh. Shut up. And scratch. No, don't call me Pegs.
Dude, I was like, don't do it. Shut up. Don't do it.
If they're not zombies, they're infected.
I was gonna say this. I'm the one who said that from the last episode.
You keep taking stuff away from me.
Well, you have no choice. You have no choice. Welcome to the most titillating podcast in the world. This is episode 114,
I missed
season
the word.
1, episode 14.
Titillating.
And,
titillating.
I'm saying it.
This is episode 14, story 1. And my gosh.
Right?
Can we hold on?
Right?
Hold on. My name is AJ.
Wakka.
Jay.
Ace.
Welcome.
Let's take a moment
A silence?
and breathe in and appreciate the life.
I've taken 10 years of a moment.
Appreciate the life
You can wait a couple more.
and appreciate the time that we are alive, right? No pun intended. The time that we exist, knowing what's behind the curtain. Like, we live in a moment. This is that moment when we find out what's
Behind the curtain is probably a Blackburn.
Which is kind of. We only seen, according to Casey, we've only seen just a glimpse of what's behind the curtain. That's what he said.
Damn.
After this episode, you
After
mean?
this episode.
Okay.
So when he said, when he told me about this, he said, "Welcome to a little bit of what's behind the curtain." So
Literally said, here's the teaser.
yeah. So, my gosh, what an episode,
Right?
huh?
Right?
That was good.
What an episode! It was.
It was like an information bomb. It was great.
The crazy thing is, like what Jay and probably Wakka too. The only thing that I can think of while listening to this and finding out the whole what's happening is Ace's reaction while listening to this.
Bro.
You know what's crazy too? I told Casey after I listened to the episode, I said, Casey, we should have done a live show in this episode.
Oh, that would have been good.
That would have been nice.
We
That
should have
would've been
done
good.
a live show like that. Our faces once we find out some of
For
the
real.
information. So
Yo.
my gosh, bro.
It was the biggest
Me just
reveal.
back here crying the whole
My
time.
face melted. And I've listened to this twice. And every time, bro, it's like, oh,
Right?
what a moment.
Right?
Oh,
What
good.
a moment.
Man.
While we're going through this episode, why not, once we get to that part, we mention that this is like the best moment for you, all right, all throughout this episode. Like, this is like the biggest bombshell. Don't say it right now, but once we go through that moment, when we talk about that moment, you say like, this is it. This is my biggest revelation.
When Vera died?
What?
No, when Nick stopped yelling, that's the biggest moment.
Oh, I'm still waiting for that moment.
Anyway, let's not go further ado.
Starts. This is that moment.
Yeah, this is that moment. Dude, my gosh, holy smokes! All right, I cannot wait to talk about this. I told Jay,
I'm gonna
man,
grab a drink before we get too into this.
and I told Jay this is gonna be a long episode, and I told him I added some of the stuff in here. Just a fun fact, you know how it goes with me when I start googling things and I find out some of the stuff. But all right, you all ready for this? Dun 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 dun. Dun. All right.
I don't know, bro.
Okay. All right.
Only I'm not ready for this.
All right. We started. Anyway, the title of this episode is
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne.
I almost said bloodshed. Just a little attention and this podcast is a podcast of We're Alive Descendants. If you haven't listened to We're Alive Descendants, please go and listen to that and then come back here, because this is going to be full of spoilers. We don't want to ruin it for you. We want you to have that moment of realization. Unless you haven't listened to Story of Survival, then this moment does not make any sense to you. So,
this episode is going to be more of a spoiler episode than almost any we've done. Because
yeah, exactly.
Of how far back this specific episode's lore goes.
Yeah.
It literally goes back 10 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Go and listen to We're Alive Story Survival if you haven't listened to that. And then, I don't even know, we'll see you in like 10 days.
Basically. That's about how long it'll take you.
Exactly.
24/7.
Yeah. All right. So,
it'll take a minute.
every moment counts. It started where it left off when Oliver telling Vera that he is her father.
My real name is Oliver Blackburn. I'm your father.
You are my dad?
That's right.
Speechless. That's a first.
Crazy, right?
Do you mind?
Are you sure? How would I even know if you're telling the truth?
Well, there's a slight resemblance.
It's the nose, right?
And I said this in my notes. Thank God we don't have to wait to find this all out. You know what I mean?
Right?
Because Casey could have been like, all right, let's go talk about the other people before we go
Right?
back and
Straight into it. Straight to it.
He
Kept going.
so long.
Because that's how he normally does. He will start with something, leaving on a cliffhanger, and then move on to the next.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank God.
I agree.
Thank God we dove in right away. And the whole episode literally revolved around these two groups. And then that's it. I'm so happy about that. All right. Now, Vincent and Fingers teasing Vera that she's speechless for the first time and that they have resemblance. And then he said, it's the nose, right? It's the nose, right?
Man.
Okay. And then Oliver started talking to Vera and telling her about all these personal information, and Vera couldn't believe it at first, like, are you really Oliver, and things like that. And then Oliver said, you were born March 26, 2011. Let's talk about March 26, 2011 real quick. And I know our timeline is different than their timeline, okay, because there's an infected outbreak going on 2011. But March 26, 2011 in our timeline, it's a significant day to a lot of people. There might be a meaning behind, birthday in March 26. But in March 26, 1937, fun fact, spinach growers in Crystal City, Texas, erect a statue of Popeye. That's March 26, 1937.
Interesting.
In March
That's
20,
just so wild.
I know, right?
Interesting.
1937 too. Like, how old is Popeye? That thing's old. Anyway, March 26.
Popeye's an
I know,
oldie.
I know. March 26, 2011, it was Earth Day. People around the world turned off their electricity. And I think that happens every year anyway, so it's not really that significant.
Weirdos.
All right. Certain important people died and got married.
I turn on double my electricity on that day.
Hey, my birthday is Earth Day, okay? April 22 is Earth Day. Not every year, but Earth Day. Anyway, certain important people died and got married. However, this is why we're talking about this March 26th. However, I don't know if this is intentional or not, but I just so happened to notice this, and very coincidentally wonderful. March 26, 2011, okay? The number one song in music charts in UK, United Kingdom, is by Nicole Scherzinger, Don't Hold Your Breath. Vera being speechless. Now, you might think that's weird, right? You might be like, AJ, that's kind of ridiculous take.
Yep.
But, okay,
That's
that's UK. Okay, listen to this. In America, the number one song in the music chart is what? By Lady Gaga, Born This Way.
I'm sorry, but if neither of those are intentional, this is just better. This is just icing on the cake now. Like, what?
Wow.
Dude, let's go.
You see what kind of rabbit hole that you put him through? Casey, look what happened.
Born This Way.
I
Casey's gotta
love
expect
every
it at this
one of
point.
you. But there's just some times where I'm just like, how deep did you dig for that connection? I thought Egypt was a big stretch.
No, but I mean, it's not a connection, but it's still coincidentally wonderful. It's like Born This Way, being part of the family, like you're born this way.
Well, I
and
know what
explain
you're
this whole thing.
talking about.
It's
You don't have to
it's just
explain it to
crazy,
me.
you know?
Apparently he doesn't. No, I'm just kidding.
I know. And I shouldn't have done it, but March 27, 2011 is also Born This Way. But we're not gonna talk about that. We're just gonna talk about March 26, 2011, and also that day happened to be my sibling's birthday, March 26, 2000. March 26. Anyway, I just want to talk about that because that was interesting. And then, okay, so Casey has done this to us multiple times in every episodes, in everything of We're Alive. He always teases us with information, like a little bit of, here, I'm gonna give you this and then I'm gonna take it away. You know that commercial with the, you gotta be quicker than that. You gotta be quicker than that.
The dollar.
Yeah, the dollar. Vera
That
went
lives rent free in my head.
right. Vera asked Vincent, why did he leave the compound?
Bro.
Right? He said, why did you even leave?
I was waiting for an
I know.
answer.
And then turned to Oliver.
I know, I was like,
wanna
what?
know yours first. I'm like, yo.
Bro, I almost punched my monitor.
I was like, Vera, let him answer.
I know. When are we going to find this out?
I was so annoyed. I was like, okay, we can finally find out why he left. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, we getting to. Yeah, you got to be cooking with it. Yeah, I know.
Indecisive lady.
Why you left? That was just that's a very it was a because we are in the verge of the moment finding out about the family, right?
Yeah.
Then at the same time, Casey's like, okay, hey, don't forget about this small information in the whole story, okay? You know what I mean? Remember about Vincent being gone and we don't know this information? Yeah. Well, I'm gonna give you this big information, but at the same time, I don't want you to forget this small information. You know?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's him.
I know we talked about this, but don't forget this.
yeah, exactly. Now he explained why he left and when he killed Simeon Eklund.
Right.
And then this is like the this is a a lot of our episodes kind of like a Ace moment episode, when we find out that Ace is right. In the past episodes, my energy drink, sorry.
Oh.
In the past episodes when we were like, you know what, Ace is right, and this is one of those episodes because there's two so far that we know, thank you, that he's somehow right, and one of them is
Take it easy, buddy.
And one of them is when he said that Oliver still has feelings for CJ.
Yeah.
And the way he talked
Yeah.
about it.
We figured
The
that.
sentiment kind of pulled
But
out.
he's
though.
he's the one that's more pushing that. This
I
is-
was pretty. I was.
Fine,
he was on my
No,
side.
I'm saying
You
I
take the
agree with
last
them.
kill then. Loot the body if you could. Just do it. I'm just kidding.
What? What?
We're
Don't know where that came from, but
we're combining two podcasts.
I think he absolutely still had feelings for her.
Oh no, 100%. The way he talked, he's talking about her.
Yeah, describing her.
All I can think of is like all I can imagine is fingers making the face, because when he said, I've never met someone like CJ and she'll be the only one that go toe to toe with me, and Fingers like, yeah, right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fingers like, yeah, sure.
Like Fingers being like the number one, like
yeah.
Right.
just trying to freaking fire him up, like nah, it's all you, fan it,
Yeah.
let him cook.
Because we can tell too that Fingers adores
Yeah.
Oliver. Like she adores Oliver.
With what comes up later
Yeah.
makes it kind of more mind blowing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. Like she adores him. So for Oliver to kind of like downgrade himself and said that CJ and him kind of like can go toe to toe, Fingers like, nah, bro, nah.
Like this is just
There's
some
no way.
like that's just some person. CJ's
Yeah,
just some person.
yeah. Exactly.
I started out just a member. When I met your mother, I was an enforcer. After I returned, I became the head of the Blackburns. Now, I am the patriarch of all the families.
That means he's the boss.
Wait. You're in charge of all of this? What even is this? What are families? Why do you even call yourselves that? Why am I here?
Now we find out that Oliver started as an enforcer, and now he's the big boss.
No, he started as a member, just a member. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
when he went to the towers, he was an enforcer. I heard that as like multiple, like that was different steps. Like he was
Right.
a, he was a member of the family.
he was climbing. He was
and then
climbing
he
the family ladder.
climbed to an enforcer, and that's when he had that mission. And then when he came back, he climbed again.
Yeah.
He became the head of his particular family, and now he stepped up to being the head of all three families.
Yep.
That's what I understood in the
Yes.
ladder.
Yeah.
All I know is these organizations, they don't have problems with nepotism. No nepotism problem in here. Nobody's gonna be like, yeah, he's up there because he's your kid. So, so what?
So they
honestly-
have a problem with nepotism. Nepotism exists, but it's not an issue for everyone else.
Yeah. Nepotism exists, but it's just not. Nobody questions it.
It's
Right.
It's kind of like the way that their hierarchy works. It's almost like the son of the king is the prince, but that doesn't mean he's gonna be king.
Yeah.
That just means he has higher expectations. That's all that means.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is really cool, and he's treated well while prince. But if he gets if someone else is a better fit, they're like, oh, well, that's a bummer. You had your chance. But it's really cool on how these rules are being laid out as very black and white. They they're talking about like, well, it's more convoluted than that because they try to get into the deepest hole that can be like, so you can't find those loopholes to get around things.
Yeah, I mean, they've been around since 1700, so it better be like
That was
black and white.
right.
You know what I
That
mean?
That's
was
a big
amazing.
deal.
Yeah,
I was like, wow.
this is tested. You know what I mean? Tested and true. Now, we also find out that Fingers and Oliver are second cousin. And then this is like the second time Ace is right. Ace was right. This wasn't Blackburn's house. They are in Oliver's house, which is the Chisholm's house, or the household. The household. The area is the household. Iram.
Yeah, when you say
Iram.
Oliver's household, you're talking about.
Sorry, Vincent.
You switched it around.
I said
Vincent's.
Vincent. I
Yeah.
always
Or
like confuse
Vincent's
their
house.
name, Oliver and Vincent. But yeah, Vincent's house. This is Iram.
Yeah, it was Vincent's house.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
correct.
stated that.
No,
Yeah.
Well,
he
not
switched
just
it with Oliver.
not just house, household, like the whole place
Yeah.
owns by Chisholm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not just the house where they're staying, but the whole
Vicinity, the whole area.
The whole like manor.
the-
yeah real
Estate.
estate, the whole
Yeah.
estate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was
That
House
was
of
cool.
Chisholm.
I guess I just kind of assumed like because there were families
Yeah.
when they said this is his house, I assumed that it meant like whatever house he was a part of, that
Yeah.
was their house.
No,
Oh, I see what- that's-
because in my
it
head,
was the family owned.
in my head, it could have been like that whole estate has the Blackburn's house. There's a Chisholm's house. There's a Amsel
Like you're
house.
thinking more
Yeah.
of a villa.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
villa, but no, it's like the whole place. Is
The whole-
Chisholm.
that whole
Oh, okay.
area.
Yeah.
You thought it was split up. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
I just assumed that property
Was
was
Oh, okay, yeah,
Vincent's.
So that
kind
was
of
One
thing.
big mansion,
Yeah.
That was the case.
property, one manor.
That's
da-da-da.
wild.
Yeah. Now
Yeah, yeah.
at that point, I didn't know whether Vincent was the same as Oliver or
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
but we know that now.
Right.
that he's not.
But it kind of hinted that in the last episode when Finger said, because this is his house, he can do whatever he wants. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we didn't know if Fingers was also a Blackburn. Like we had no idea. Yeah.
Yeah,
know.
that's what added to the curiosity of, oh, okay, how close is Vincent to Oliver? Like,
Yeah.
is it are they in the same family? Are they both Blackburns, or are
Right.
they
Yeah.
separate? Which it was cool to see the differentiated.
Well, what's cool is that the three of them are also, if you correct me if I'm wrong, all three of them are
Blackburns.
different though, right?
No.
No, two of them. Well, three,
There's
which
no
is
Amsel in there.
there's Vera.
Correct. It's two Blackburns
okay,
and a
okay.
Chisholm.
My bad.
and Oliver.
Well, 3 Blackburns, including
Well,
Oliver.
3 Blackburns, yeah.
Including Vera. But
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought that all three of the houses were represented between them, but
no.
No. There's no Amsel. All right. I actually like that. I like the idea that it wasn't a Blackburn who saved Vera. I mean, it's not really big of a deal, but I just like the fact that it wasn't a Blackburn.
No, I get
Yeah.
that
You know what
though.
I mean?
I do get that.
Yeah.
Right.
Because this is like one of the first times, like now knowing about the families more, we're openly seeing like a like outside their, like, it's not just this family is together, this family's together, this family's together.
Yeah.
It's,
Mhm.
hey,
Yeah.
we all work, we all intermingle, we all work 100% together. Like, we are on the same page, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Speaking of in the same page or working together, I wonder at what point in their lineage or history when they stop inbreeding.
Oh yeah, yeah. Which
oh yeah,
we-
because you mentioned that they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're not inbreds.
yeah, which we
anymore.
go in that part.
Yeah.
They have multiple houses and last names.
Yeah.
And then Vincent said, see, I almost said Oliver. Vincent said, you're making it sound like we are inbred.
Yeah.
Finger said, you might be, jokingly. And then Vincent said, it's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, it was like a hold up. Wait a minute.
I just wonder,
yeah.
man.
Which is, I mean, it happens in every single empires. You know what I
True.
mean?
True.
Like it happens in
it's
Chinese
not-
Empire, Japanese
it's not
Empire.
even a
it's a
rarity.
problem. Yeah, it's a problem, especially,
Especially
back in
when
the
you
day.
look into secret societies, because they're very much like a keep everything secret,
Royalty.
keep everything like
royal,
Right.
royal blood.
like we won't get discovered if there's nobody to discover us.
Yeah. Now, Oliver told Vera that the family has benefits around for a long time. Oh, they've been around for a long time. He mentioned 4 original families: Emmanuel Amsel, Maribeth Blackburn, Terrence Chisholm, and David Dawson. It's we talked about this in the last episode. Like all those family names, right?
Yeah.
The first 3 families, like weird, crazy, like heavy name.
Cryptic almost.
Yeah, and then David Dawson.
Right.
Well, Dawsons were taken out a long time ago.
No, but there's nothing unique about it.
I'm talking about like
David
the four
Dawson.
founders. You know what I mean? Like David Dawson. It's like the Mexican family. This is Gregorio, Santiago, and then this is Mark. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
I did that at Christmas. My sister asked me what kind of if I like coffee.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I like whole bean coffee. I'm like, but it's got to be freshly grown from the hills of, and I looked up like a village in like Guatemala or something like that.
Yeah.
Went really specific with the location, and I was like, the vendor's Steve. And then she responded, she was like, Are you serious? Like, that's oddly specific. And I'm like, no, I'm kidding.
Wow. That's awesome.
Nice. That was nice.
Yeah, but
Never
David
let 'em
Dawson.
know your next move.
You're right.
There were a few well-known societies that played their part in our nation's founding. The Sons of Liberty, the Freemasons, now, they're already fairly well known. But those were individuals who wanted the spotlight, to become part of the history books, the politicians that tried to make a name for themselves. But the real power and control always came from those who remain hidden in the background. Our four families figured out ways to collaborate in secret, growing stronger through coordination with one another.
They were founded before the Revolutionary War, so before 1775. That was incredible. That's a
Was
long
it before
time.
the Revolutionary?
That's
Yeah.
what he said before
Okay.
the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
And they won they helped win the war in 1778.
Yeah.
So-
Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yep. So they've been around since before that.
Yeah, that was really cool because it showed in depth the power that the
Yeah.
families have.
Yeah.
And
That's
how
wild.
like it also kind of shows where their foundations are they're backed up by what's said later. They are kind of supposed to be for the greater good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like it's showing that that's where their morals supposedly lie and where everything is supposed to be going in that direction.
Civil War?
No, Revolutionary War is
talked about
against
that
the England.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was our
It's,
liberty.
Yeah. So 1775 is the start of the Revolutionary War. The Declaration of Independence was written in 1776, and then the war went in 1778. So
I had that wrong.
the whole thing was just crazy because it's like now when he said that they've been around since 1700s, I was like, oh, this is not just a normal gang or a mafia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is not just a like New York or New Jersey mafia. No, it's way
This is that
bigger
deep
than that.
blood, like
Yeah.
Yakuza
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like Yakuza, like they're around,
Yeah.
and then they disappear, and then like you find one of them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're extremely active." Like, wait, what?
Right, and they're still around. That was crazy. And then for them to stay hidden this whole time, you know what I mean? Granted, it's a story, but still, they want to be hidden. Purpose.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the mafia is still active today, but we don't really hear much about it.
No, but we know there's mafia.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But we don't know that there's a.
But here's the thing. In that same regard, like people know there's secret societies in the world,
Right.
but we don't know where they are.
Yeah.
This is just one of those things. Like they could be labeled as mafia.
True.
Like the family could have been found
true.
in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and they're like, "Oh, those are just mafia guys." Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's not the same. Like because they are much more.
They
secret.
did reference the mafia and how that was created and stuff like
and
that. So
like the Mason.
and then Freemasons.
Freemasons, yeah, but they're separate. Freemasons is separate. They say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now,
Hang on.
yeah, go ahead.
Separate.
Nice. Nice.
You know what? They're actual Illuminati.
That's what I was gonna say. I wonder if this is like Casey's way of
Name
saying
that,
this
give
might
that
be
line.
like another way.
Just
That
saying,
might be.
we might have a third podcast coming. Stay tuned.
You branch out to conspiracy theory.
I would be down in a heartbeat.
You guys will talk in links. I'm just new to whole conspiracy theory.
links.
Yeah,
Oh, Boro, I got some stuff to share with you.
I'll just be here, man. I'll just be there for the ride.
we're just here for a laugh, and we're just here for like, wait, really? Oh wow, that's awesome.
Exactly. That's me right there. He told me so many things, and I'm like, what?
I know. That's a thing. What? All right. So now he explained what did the founders and their members have done.
Yeah.
One of the founders was in Culper Ring, Culper's spy ring was an American spy network operating during the War of American Independence that provided George Washington with information on British troop movements. That's one of the Culper ring thing. I googled
They're
that.
super fascinating.
How do you spell? How do you spell it?
Culper.
Okay.
Culper.
That was
Culpering.
That was what the whole basis of National Treasure 2 was on.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Culper ring. Another one would be responsible for preventing assassination of a high-ranking officer. Now, Amsel and Dawson would divert supply chain to loyalists. When I first listened to this, I thought that was their main job. Like that's gonna be their main job. It was like, oh, it was just during the Revolutionary War. Because all I could think of is like, the one that divert the supply chain during this timeline was the Chisholm, because that was the war,
right?
You know, with the train. So it was. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. That would be the Chisholm. But this was during the Revolutionary War, so it makes sense.
Specific time, yes.
Specific time during that time. Now, after that is...
yeah, that's why I answered it, though. She's like, oh, I forgot. Bye.
After that, you have a heartfelt moment between Vera and Oliver about him leaving and how he wants her back and asking for a chance.
I'm having a hard time accepting this. And you. Do you know how many nights I lied awake, lost in my own head, wondering why you would leave us or who you even were?
Bet you were never expecting any of this, huh?
Shush.
Hearing all this now may answer a lot of my questions, but it doesn't begin to erase any of the pain.
I can't tell you how many times I rehearsed what I would finally say to you, if or when we ever met. To try and explain all the reasons why I was never there for you in the ways I wanted to be. But now that you're here, I'll finally have that opportunity, if you'll let me. There's no way I can ever expect to reverse the years of damage overnight, but I'd like to try and make things better. I only ask that you don't close me out, or turn your back on the opportunity to know what this all is, and keep an open mind to who we truly are. Would you at least give this a chance?
I might be able to do that.
Thank you.
So before this, by the way, we, Oliver explaining the backstory of the Simeon, we already know about that in the We're Alive Lockdown. Yep. So we already know a lot of those information. So that's why I didn't put in my notes, because we know that.
If you listen, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And then Oliver welcomed Vera home. He said, "Welcome home. Give your daddy another chance." He didn't say it that way, but might as well.
This is his opportunity to bring back the milk.
Honestly, this whole thing, like with Oliver, it went very much how I had hoped it would go. From all ends of the spectrum. Like he was showing like, I really care, like I really want to be there, really want to be a part. So that was cool first off, but then it was also cool seeing Vera like not just accept, like in a lot of stories like this, it's like, I've missed you for so long, oh my god, and blah blah blah, and it's just like, no, that's not real. Like you might be excited and stuff, but you're gonna be pissed,
right? Yeah.
And I was very happy to see that indeed was the case. She was indeed pissed.
Right. Well, because we talked about this in the previous podcast, and we even asked Casey, and Casey said, responded, and I said, can you just tell us if Oliver is a good person? And then Casey said, well, Oliver, being good is kind of subjective.
Relative.
So,
It's a relative term.
It's a relative term. But we're kind of like sensing it with Oliver in here, that there's a good person in there. He just had to do what he had to do and leave, and he kind of explained that to your mother will not allow me to stay there.
It's that Wreck-It Ralph moment. Just because he's bad guy doesn't mean
yeah.
Well, when we were talking about that, we were talking about Vincent being good or bad.
Oh, it's
not
true.
Oliver.
That's true.
Yeah.
But still,
because we didn't know
honestly,
anything about
I don't
Oliver.
think any of us ever had a doubt about Oliver. We're all like, nah, he's a good guy. From everything we saw in Lockdown, like he showed he's a good guy.
Yeah, Oliver could.
Like,
Yeah.
Extraordinarily loyal. Like obviously to the family first, his friends second. But the fact that like everything we've seen him do, he's never dropped a beat and never been not who he has said he was. Yeah. He's danced around the truth a lot because that's just who his character is meant to be. But he never just did something and it's like, what? Why?
Yeah, but who else is like, am I the only one who's kind of glad they recasted him?
I don't remember who it was the first time around.
Okay, I only say yes because now, like, the voice matches so well.
So good.
With the age
Yeah,
that has
it
happened.
does.
It's
with the
so
age
well.
that's happened.
I didn't know they
because
recasted
it would be really hard. Like, the only thing I didn't like about Michael's voice in this current one, in CJ's voice currently, it's not that I dislike the voice actors at all. It's just that this is the first voice that's shown age.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like almost 20 years has gone by.
Right. Well, kind of like with Bert. You know what I mean? Kind of.
Yeah.
Because you know the coughing, and you can tell that like this dude is struggling. This dude is ancient. Right. But you're right. So they had to recast him, and Casey, because I asked Casey, I said, "Hey, did Oliver get recasted?" He said, "I tried my best to reach out to him and get him back, but I couldn't get a hold of him." It's like, oh, okay, all right. But yeah,
that is a bummer. But like again, I think the current voice is doing so well because it's both similar enough but aged enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it almost sounds a little raspier.
No, but his inflection, the inflection of his voice and the raspiness is just perfect. Yeah.
It's a good
great.
So good.
I like
good
it.
find, Casey. Good find.
And then we cut to Nicoma, Will, and Nick.
Yeah.
Then here comes the reckless Nick slash
Oh my God.
Saul.
Right.
I still can't find a way through to the house yet. There are traps everywhere.
Yeah, someone's trying real hard to keep us out.
Well, not just us. Those things, too.
Fuck it. Set off the traps. I need to get in there already.
Some are lethal. This one's covering a bit of spikes below. You really want to rush through and get stuck in that. And I'm sure there's more I haven't found.
He showed up.
Don't you dare!
Hold on. He showed up and was willing to set off all the traps just to save Vera. And then I put right here a little bit of correlations, a parallelism between Nick and Saul, besides being father and son, between Vera and Blondie. Right? You got the family. That's like the first connection, right? The biggest connection. Both of them has the family involvement in there. Blondie's, not the daughter, but still. And then you got the mall and mansion. Contrast, bringing Blondie to at first it was it was the mall, right? And then they went to
I thought it was the arena.
No, it was the mall, and then they went to
the mall.
The what turned to be Westport.
What
was
that?
The colony. Yeah. So you have that contrast, and then the captors, the contrast of these two captors. The Blondie's captor tried to rape her. Vera's captor is nice to her. Right, you got that two. You had that two contrast.
I was really curious where that was going.
Right, and then Blondie is with. This is like a rumor. We don't know if this is for real yet. Which, by the way, Casey did not confirm this. He said the scratch might be a chism, and then Vincent is a chism. This is the whole rumor because they were saying that
the boar makes sense after the description that he just gave of them.
Yeah. The boar might be Scratch's mom, and the boar is Chisholm. So you have two Chisholms that's guarding, taking care of the captor, and then the biggest one is the secret information of both people that neither Saul or Nick know. Saul being Blondie pregnant, and then Vera knew about Michael and Nick didn't. So you have that whole contrast between the two of them.
How long did you spend figuring that out?
Oh my gosh, bro, you have no idea. Like every time
the whole week.
Yeah, no. So my thing is, I try my best. Every time I listen to this, I was like, okay, my first listen, I'm not gonna think about anything. I'm just gonna enjoy it. Like I'm just gonna enjoy this episode because this is great. Never happens. Never happens.
You don't know how to do that.
I just enjoy it. His mind works in like many ways. I just enjoy it. I'm invested
just here, bro.
Yes.
I can't.
But he can't do it.
And then the second listen, I like go back and forth. All right. Oh, what did he say? Oh, I heard that. What is that? No, but anyway, yeah. So yeah, you have that parallelism and contrast between the two of them. I just thought it was great. Now, they encountered a muckraker, two of them.
Right.
That was actually really cool.
It was really cool. But this is not the fight yet. It was just.
Yeah. No, I just mean like the being introduced to here was very fascinating.
Right. Now we go back to Fingers and Vera. We find out that they're cousins, right? Yeah. This is the biggest revelation for me. This is it.
Yes.
I don't know about you guys, but this is it.
If it's what you're about to say.
Yes.
Oh my god.
We found out.
Why don't you tell her your real name?
She doesn't need to know that.
Okay, Durai.
Durai?
Yeah, that's only because my daddy wanted to keep the lineage of the name. I'm the 4th Durai Blackburn. Just keep it to Fingers.
Such a unique name. It's weird, though. I think I remember someone else named Durai.
Really? Wait, what'd you hear about them?
Can't remember from where exactly, but it just sounds familiar. If you're the 4th, there must be others around?
Not exactly. I'm the only one left.
We lost a lot of members during the outbreak in 2009, and the years following. The family has had to consolidate. Iram is the only residence in use now. There were 3, but the other 2 are currently vacant. All 3 households have to operate from here now.
The biggest revelation, Fingers' real name is Durai Blackburn.
Bro!
What?
Durai the 4th Blackburn.
Hell?
I'm already
and they said
that was pretty incredible. Yeah.
They said, "Why is your name Durai? My father wants to keep their first name."
Yeah. I was like, oh no.
Every time it was being like spoken of, I was breaking inside, dude.
Yeah. And then Fingers said, "Oh no." Vera recalled that Durai sounded familiar.
Yeah.
We all know
I've heard that name before.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I was like,
yeah.
Please pick it up.
And she was curious.
Why?
Yeah.
And the Fingers was very curious. I was like, where'd you hear it from?
Yeah. That was incredible.
Because nobody outside should
man.
know that. Nobody should know that.
It's crazy because when they said the name Durai, my mind went back to Story of Survival and just connecting it. I was like,
yeah.
Wait, Angel is Blackburn, right?
No, he's an Amsel.
He's an Amsel. So my theory. So he is.
Yeah, it was a while back.
So the Amsels were the Chisholms or the Amsels the unstable ones, the ones that dealt with kind of the dirty stuff.
Oh no, that's Dawson.
No, Dawsons haven't been around for a long time.
Yeah, but they're the dirty ones.
No.
Oh, Chisholm.
Yes,
Chisholm.
Okay, Blackburns are the ones that basically stay in secret, and then
Blackburns are like the more
the Amsels are the political ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Angel's Amsel.
So my theory about my theory about Finger being the Michael's killer is gone.
Oh, none of them are.
None of them are.
Yeah. None of them are.
Yeah.
Which makes me so happy. I didn't want to hate any of them.
But we kind of talked about it now.
But at the same time,
there is no vendetta against Michael.
Well, that we know of.
Well, in the family,
how many Chisholm do we know?
An official vendetta.
There's no official vendetta against him through the family. There might be somebody who's rogue, the boar, but there is no official vendetta.
Okay, all right, yeah, but how do Oliver know? How did Vincent know if there's no vendetta?
Because there's people reporting back.
How? There's no way for them to find out, especially for
he has
Vincent
spies inside of
them. What are you talking about, Dean and them? Who
yeah.
Dean
Okay, I get that, but Vincent.
Are you wondering how would Vincent know?
Yeah, how would Vincent know?
I mean, I would assume
Vincent
they
could
would
have
all
been
know.
connected from.
They all have
else.
communication, probably.
Yeah, the only communication, and this is Casey confirmed this from last week. It was you were right. It was the Morse code in the plane.
That may not be the only communication, but that is how he communicated in the plane.
That's how he communicated at that point. It doesn't mean
because
that's
it's because the whole thing.
They still have radios.
That doesn't mean that before he got captured there was communication.
Yeah, because it's all I can think of is the timeline, right? When they got captured, when Vincent got captured, it wasn't like a day or two. It was like within that day when they got captured by Nakoma, right? And for him to find out all that information and get transferred, it was really.
What if there are
quick.
spies in Prim?
It'll be interesting to find out how he found out, but I do not believe
if he has connections everywhere. There could be spies in Prim. He could have literally been told by somebody in Prim.
I am pretty confident that Vincent was not the murderer. That they know nothing,
and also
they had
I'm
nothing
defending
to do
my boy
with
to the death.
with the murder.
And also at the same thought, granted, Michael is important. Okay, I'm not discrediting that. Granted, Michael is important, but for someone to give that information to the big boss and no vendetta does not make any sense. There has to be something bigger reason for the family for him to find out that information.
Because he probably keeps his ear to the ground to find out what's going on around the world anyways.
Yeah, but it was Michael.
Also think about it.
You have to remember,
he was friends with Michael.
In the first season, the one who kept saying that they're going to go visit Michael to check on him, it was actually Ruth reporting back, telling them what's up. That's what Dean said to
all
Pegs.
three of them were rotating in and out.
Yeah,
keeping an eye on Michael.
Yeah,
while he was
Dean
in the hospital.
Well, and now here's the thing. Also think about it this way: like Michael is CJ's right hand.
Yeah.
Boom, instant connection. He could have been friends with Michael before everything. Instant connection.
Before he left.
He could have several reasons why
right.
he would find out about this. He could have just learned because there was an assassination to a high up military officer in one of the three biggest known nations. He could have found out just because of that.
I think you're closer on the fact that they knew each other and they were friends of some sort, because the sorrow that he depicted when he told Nick, I'm sorry about your dad. He felt really bad for him and really sorry for him. If it was just some Joe Smo that guy, it would be like no big deal. It'd be people are dying left and right in this world.
Or it could be something like
he seemed like he didn't want to tell Nick, but it's one of those things like that has to get said.
Well, he didn't know that he didn't know either.
I can go in.
But like once he realized,
I'll go in the other side of, hey, we had to do what we had to do, so I'm so sorry about your dad.
No. I'm on the no on that.
I mean, you can say no, but it's like that's how I.
Plus, he stated they didn't have a vendetta since Simeon.
Yeah,
he stated that was their last vendetta.
Well, he said that was his last vendetta.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean that Vincent didn't just get back from a vendetta or Fingers just got back from a vendetta. So I see that point.
Yeah,
I do see that point. I don't think that's what happened.
Did he say my or our?
Huh?
Did he say my last vendetta or our last vendetta?
He said it was his last vendetta.
My last vendetta. Because the vendetta is still happening.
Well, yes, but that wasn't that long ago.
No, I'm talking about I think he meant like in general. If something happened, it's still gonna happen. It doesn't stop.
Yes.
But for him, that's his last one.
When he said that, I didn't think he was saying like that was the last one ever. I thought he was saying that was the last one that there was. As in, like, the most recent one was him having to deal with Simeon.
Gotcha.
Because I don't think because of the rules that they have, it deters people from murdering the family.
Right.
Because then there is a vendetta put on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's not like there's not a vendetta being issued like every other week on someone. If someone gets murdered, it's a rarity, is what I would gather from that. Hence the reason of having that rule.
They're so few and far between in family members alone,
right?
Let alone like someone who's gonna happen to get killed. Like,
yeah.
When I heard that, I definitely heard it as the last vendetta that was issued.
He said
in general was that, but then also. The vendetta is held by the family. They can't move on until the vendetta is completed.
Yeah.
So if he's saying my last vendetta, I think that applies to the family as a whole, especially considering he's the patriarch of the family.
No. When he said my last vendetta, it was given to him when he was doing that position, the enforcer.
Yeah.
Because now he's a big boss. Like, he doesn't have to do that. He can just send someone to do it for him.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been worded very different if it was like the family's last vendetta.
Yeah.
Like he would have been like the last time we had a vendetta, or something more storytelling, I guess.
I mean,
but the fact that he just he separates, saying like this was my last vendetta, or my last vendetta was Simeon Eklund.
Yeah, I still feel like that was it. That was the last vendetta that was issued. But I mean, I can see your side. I'm on the side of that was the last vendetta that they had issued.
Well, because the way, and we're gonna talk about this eventually. Though, you also have that last conversation that he had with Vera. You know what I mean? And now, Nick showed up. Dude, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry about your dad.
Sorry about your dad, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, no, don't do it. Shut up, don't do it.
So going back to this, that was my biggest revelation, knowing Durai. What an awful person to name your daughter Durai.
Such a weird name.
It's like you didn't have any other kids.
No. So when we met about Fingers, right? When we met Fingers, and it's like, that's a weird name. And then Durai, no, Fingers is better.
No, Fingers
Fingers makes sense.
That's the right choice.
Keep Fingers.
Fingers make sense.
Yeah.
So I do have one curiosity though that's starting to strike me as interesting. As of right now, there's only been 3 characters to use like code names or nicknames of the family.
Yeah.
Out of the now 7 that we've met, 1 we won't count. Actually, no, we've met like 8.
Yeah.
I think. And only 3 of them have used code names.
What were the code names?
So I'm
again?
finding that really interesting right now. It's Scratch, Latch, and Fingers.
Oh, Boar.
Those are the 3.
Well, Boar is her
so
own.
4.
Yeah, so 4.
But Boar is her own thing.
But no. That will be included here. So it's just interesting to me, and I'm curious on why. I know that he said they use aliases, blah 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 blah, but this just seems too different to be just aliases.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, am I wrong? Like,
No, you're right. You're right, because Angel didn't change his name. He's Angel.
Yeah.
You know, even the
but
last
I
name
don't
kept
include
the
him
last
because
name.
he openly said he left the family.
Yeah, and then
So I will leave that one apart from this.
and then
but like
the 3 people in Mara, Ruth, and Dean, they kept their names that we know
yeah,
of.
exactly.
But
like
they
all
were
of them,
covering
it's
his
their
name.
names.
Well,
Well,
covers
it's
are
their
different than
alias
alien.
names.
Yeah, aliases are different than nicknames.
No, I see.
Yeah, because like you'd think that if it's just about the aliases, why would Scratch and Latch go by Scratch and Latch? Because at that time they were very active family members. Durai straight up using his name.
Right. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that was super interesting to me.
Wait. You said 4 people? So Scratch and Latch, Boar, and Oliver. Yeah.
No, Scratch, Latch, Boar, and
Fingers. Well, also Oliver.
Using his Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy.
Yeah, but
That's an alias,
differentiating. I'm differentiating just the aliases because otherwise you would have to include Dean and all of them as well.
Well,
Oh,
yeah, you
gotcha.
include almost everyone
Yeah,
because
so
he said almost everyone goes by an alias outside of the family.
Yeah.
So,
So
an
I'm
alias
curious
is
on why
separate.
those 4 characters specifically went by code names and not an alias or anything of that nature.
The question is the Boar, is that her nickname or is that the name that because she's kind of separated herself from the family also?
No, I
so
think
is the Boar a part of the
She's doing
family?
her own thing as well.
Like is the Boar name what she was called with association with the family, or is that completely separate with her own quote unquote zoo that she's created?
So the big difference between Boar and Oliver and Jeremy, the Jeremy persona is not really him. He's just using that for that purpose to hide himself. But when you go with Scratch and Latch, they're not hiding themselves. They're like, live the moment. This is me now. You know what I mean? Same thing with Boar. This is me now. I'm Boar.
It's
I don't
almost
go by
like
that name anymore. This is me
It's
now.
almost like those four members all left the family.
Yeah.
Or 5 members all left the family. Durai, Scratch, Latch. Like, even though the 3 of
Fingers
them were still
hasn't.
very much acting on the family, Scratch, Latch, and Durai were like fully acting as family members, but like I don't know. It felt like there's so many differences between
I feel
them
like
and what we've seen from the 3 new introductions of, hey, this is what the family is.
I feel like Scratch, Latch, and Fingers can be grouped together, but I feel like the Boar might be completely separate on that just because it's her
I can see
quote unquote zoo.
I feel like that one's definitely closer to being different.
Yeah, and then everyone else, they have their names and then they have their aliases,
Right.
not names and then nicknames that they now go by. But just because of the way the Boar is acting, because when who was it, Mira?
Yeah.
Went there, she didn't recognize her as the Boar. She didn't recognize that name, and so it wasn't something that she would have known. Like if she had heard Fingers, she probably would have known who Fingers was, or Scratch and Latch. So the Boar
I
was
see
a
what you're
new
saying.
name.
I see what you're saying.
And then when she went up there, she assumed she knew who it was. Just she assumed it was a family member of some kind.
Right. So you're saying like they would have been
curious to
they would have
see
been
how
known
deep like the code names go.
Yeah, they would have been known as that name even inside the family.
Yeah, because Scratch and Latch were known.
Right.
And Fingers is obviously known to an
Right.
extent, as Fingers. So
Yeah, and I think I don't think she likes the name Durai. You know what I mean?
No.
And I don't
It's
think
not very feminine.
I don't think it has something to do with the dad. I think it just has something to do with the name. Like I don't want to be called Durai.
Well, it's a guy.
I agree with that.
It's
I
a
feel
heavy
like
guy's name.
I feel like Durai might not have a bad name
Uh-huh.
in and of himself. He could that could be why he could have been in jail actually because he was in jail.
Yeah.
So that brings another like layer of curiosity to all of that.
Yeah. He was in it's not just jail, it was prison. They
Yeah.
were prisoners. They were like there, deep down there. Now we find out about the one family, 3 households, and Iram is the only one left household where they are located. He talked about some of the characteristics of different family, and he said this, and I point this out. He said this: Amsel are political.
Yeah.
And I put close and open parentheses for hogs.
I thought the same thing.
My exact thoughts.
I thought the same thing.
Yep.
I thought the same
Which
thing.
is why I'm thinking more towards hogs is the killer.
Oh.
Who?
Hogs. You remember the one that's challenging CJ
It's
for
running
her
against
position?
CJ?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Something General Commander Hogs.
Yeah, Major General.
Yeah, Major General. There you go.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So do you think he's family?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're guessing because he's in a.
Well,
in a
we
political-
think he's family, and then Ace step it up as Michael's killer.
Yeah, we talked about that before.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
However, wouldn't the 3 of them know that he was family potentially?
Who?
I think they do.
Oh, Meram, Ruth, and Dean.
Yeah.
I think they might.
Yeah.
Because they haven't said anything one way or the other saying that he's not or is.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things like it hasn't come up, or they're like, there's no need to say this.
Yeah.
Like just because they blew their cover doesn't mean they're gonna blow the cover of the rest of the family. Because that would be a different type of.
Yeah,
just
to
bad.
protect CJ though.
I mean, for them, it's still they're still just trying to be. They're still just trying to follow the rules.
That could be a way to protect CJ. You need to step down and just be a normal person or live with Oliver. Now you're not a president. There's no more, pressure for you or being killed because you're not the president anymore. You know what I mean? That could be a way to protect her if you look at it that way.
I agree.
Step down.
Yeah. So I say stepped out. Yeah.
You said step down.
Yeah, step down. That's right.
She's missing a leg.
Does no one else get it?
I forgot.
Thank you, Ace.
Sorry, half step.
Okay, stick down.
It was that
Not
much of a
step down.
hidden
Stick down.
joke.
Half step down. Or hop down. Sorry. Okay, so we talked about they talked about Blackburn being adaptable, disciplined, self-reliant, committed, observant, remain in the shadows. Michael's killer. Remain in the shadow.
I
No.
think the Chisholm is more likely, which doesn't play well for my boy.
Yeah.
When Vera said, this is funny. This is me stretching it again. Okay. Hate me if you want. I don't care.
We do.
I mean, I will have that anyway.
When Vera said spies and thieves.
Then on the opposite side of the spectrum are the Blackburns. Adaptable, disciplined, self-reliant, committed, observant. The ones that always remain in the shadows. My household.
How is that not surprising?
We rely on our anonymity to get into places that others can't. And specialize in acquiring information that isn't meant to be known.
Spies and thieves.
Oh boy, she's got you pegged.
Hey, watch it.
I mean, sure. You could look at us that way.
I'd add liars to that list too.
Vincent said she got you pegged, like peg,
Oh my
and then
God,
Finger said, hey. It's like that's an insult. Don't call me Pegs. Don't call us Pegs. Pegs is the worst. She killed Lash. Shut
up.
And Scratch. No, don't call me Pegs.
Dang.
That's a stretch, but it was
That's
just,
a very.
it's
It is a
Very,
stretch.
very-
It's a
but,
dad
I mean,
joke.
that's just
That
you.
was a
Big
dad
stretch.
joke, okay?
That was a bad joke. I know.
It's a dad joke. Sorry. Casey will appreciate, right, Casey? Comment down below if you appreciate that.
Don't goad him on, please. We can't handle more.
Yeah, don't encourage him, please.
And then he continued saying Chisholms are versatile, cunning, relentless, experienced, perfectionist, lack of conscience, dirty
Yeah.
work, like the boar.
Yeah, I thought the same.
Yep.
Like the war, like it's like it encapsulate the definition of the war right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know?
no, I definitely agree with like all of that.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, like, yeah, she's in a state of political power, but that doesn't mean the only person with that skill is going to be an Amsel. The only person that can kill is going to be a Chisholm.
Yeah.
The only person that's good in the shadows is a Blackburn.
Yeah.
But once you see what skills they're using the most, yeah, you can adopt the rest of them.
Absolutely.
I mean, look at how Oliver propositioned it to Vera. We'll teach you the stuff that we do, or the things he highlighted the most.
Yeah.
But he was saying basically all the skills.
Yeah.
Like he was saying how to basically control the world through people.
Yeah. And no wonder why
that's Amsel. Like that's not him. That's not his family, but he put it in there for a reason.
And no wonder why
all skills that are learned.
No wonder why he said that eventually, that beyond your military experience. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And Vera said,
Basic,
what do you mean by that? And then Oliver said, I knew you're gonna be curious about that. You know what I mean?
He's like, him.
Yeah. And then of course the last one, because Vera said, all right, let's talk to me about this last family, the fourth family.
The Dawson family lineage ended a very long time ago, during the Civil War. In a way, we had our own Civil War.
Oh.
The other three didn't agree with how the Dawsons were operating.
They deserve to die out.
They were mainly involved in indentured servitude.
Just say it. Slave trade.
Our households firmly established rules about that practice. They didn't want to follow. It was one of the few times things got bloody between us.
Is that what this painting is? Are they
dueling?
Oh.
It used to be a very old family tradition. Last time it happened was against the Dawsons' head of household. Dawson lost.
And like that, their branch of the family tree was dissolved, root and stem. Well over 150 years ago, things changed a lot after that.
It needed to.
Outside of vendettas, it was one of the few times a family member was ever allowed to kill another.
Vendettas?
You want to respond to this one?
Slytherin. I'm just kidding. It's Dawson. Our slave owners and slave trading. They have their own.
I like how they put it too.
Slave
Like Vincent
servants.
was almost still trying to protect.
Yeah.
A disregarded member of the family. He's like they were still like some of us, so don't just badmouth them. So he put it softly.
Yeah.
Until Fingers was like, just say it. They were slave traders.
Yeah. Well,
that's just blunt. This is what they are. This is what they were. Da 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 da. Okay. It's like that, is it?
I actually put that in my notes in here when he said that dissolved and outside of Vendetta they killed. Did they kill every one of them?
It sounds like it. They got rid of that entire family.
Yeah, they
well, he did say root and stem.
Yeah, they got rid of.
So they got rid of every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes me curious on how.
Imagine just getting your ring.
There's a couple
and
ways.
you could
They could have killed the family head, and because of that, they were either integrated into their own family, or completely killed.
Yeah.
Or a third option would be okay, as members of the family, almost we still trust you to live out your life,
right?
But that's it. You don't procreate, you don't nothing. So it's and that's where it could lead into a family war, which is where this could all go. Hogs could be something like that.
Yeah. You know what? That could be a good twist into it. You know what I mean? Hogs being Dawson. And
being a Dawson instead of the others.
Yeah, that could be a big twist to it. Because they were emphasizing now who the Dawson is.
I think the Dawsons are going to play a role somewhere.
Yeah.
I think
they've been highlighted too much.
I think they might be gone. But I think it's possible that when they said, that they got rid of them all, that anyone left that wasn't a part of, that they didn't kill off, that they absorbed them into other parts of the family.
Mm-hmm.
Wakka, are you gonna say something before I say my ridiculous claim?
Just knowing why they were dissolved, I just wondered how would they. I know Amira mentioned to the board, or the name that she revealed was Michelle. And then she says she doesn't go by that name anymore. But long story short, she says that the family doesn't like the whole idea of slavery or what of that sort. It just made me wonder during the story of survival why they did that. Scratch Latch having their slaves doing their labor
I mean,
work.
those are still members of the family. They're still like the Dawsons. They still are gonna know the ways of past family, or disrespect it or not.
No, okay. So let me clarify this. Let me clarify real quick. They said they didn't say slave owning. I did put slave
They said slave
owning.
trading.
They said slave trading.
Slave trading.
Yeah. So.
Well, they said they did say indentured servitude or servants too. So you could assume that.
And the way slave trading works before is I could be wrong, but they captured people, whether they have papers or not, and then they sell them in the South.
Or they had their own and they were currency almost.
Yeah. But that's how, But I think it's bigger than that. I think they might be going somewhere and capturing people, and then, like that whole slave trading. But it wasn't really mentioned if they own slaves, like just them or the whole family. You know what I mean?
And I get that.
Yeah, because there's still a group of, criminals, on paper. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you would assume that the families wouldn't agree with it, because Mira told the board that if the family knew what you were doing, they would.
No, I think it just eventually changed. Like they changed the rules. I don't think from the get they're against it.
But we know they were at least against it since that war.
Yeah,
since the Civil War. Yeah.
And they Vera
were in the north.
Yeah, and Vera said, "Is this what you mean?" And they're like the dueling. They have the dueling thing, like gladiator kind of thing.
Right.
And then
You
the
went with
last
gladiator.
Fight,
Interesting.
and then the last fight, Dawson lost, and that's why. Yeah,
that makes sense.
I wrote in here in my notes, just a little side note. I love that this series is called We're Alive. At first, it is about zombie apocalypse or infected. Then it turned out to have another layer, and it's about the family being still alive. And this is still their story of survival.
Joke's on you. It's about family all along.
It's nothing new about zombies.
Got them.
They just happen to be there.
They're not zombies. They're infected.
I was going to say, this is why they were never mentioned as zombies. We're Alive is not about zombies. So my ridiculous claim that I was going to say earlier. What if Cole is Dawson and then he's capturing every single one of them? Now this is my Dawson family.
That would actually be so wild.
Right.
Like genuinely, that'd be so weird and so wild.
That's the whole switch. The whole plot twist. Hey, we're talking about Descendants. Yeah, it's the Dawson.
What would be really cool, what's going to be cool is when we finally get to meet who we know from Scout's Honor. Because they're still alive.
Yeah, they're still alive.
Boom.
Now, sorry, where am I? Oh, Vendetta was mentioned. Vincent avoided and passed the question, kind of like, hey, I did something, so why don't you explain this? Kind of thing.
It was interesting that that's the one that he skipped over.
Yeah, it is really this is definitely a Casey way of teasing us and playing with our emotions. You know what I mean? Like I want you to believe that he's not the killer, but I also want you to believe that he's the killer. Then maybe, we don't have a sure
but also
answer
guess
here.
who?
Yeah. It's a new character.
I think it is. I don't think it's anyone we know yet.
I would love that.
Well, it might be someone we know.
Please.
Yeah, I would definitely.
Don't do it to my boy.
I really don't think it's anyone in that family right there.
It was Victor all along.
Victor.
Wow.
Not Vincent, Victor.
No, not Vincent. Victor. It was Victor. He was so mad at him. He's like, hey, you're mad at me about me missing some of the stuff that I did? Yeah, I'm going to kill you, bro. This is my moment.
Who is Victor again?
Victor,
the Mexican,
Kelly's wife.
the Latino.
Yeah.
The Latino
Kelly's
dude?
boy.
I don't remember.
The one that was with Saul. Saul's best friend.
Saul's best friend.
Okay.
In Story of Survival. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that's on Mexican.
Yeah. So,
speak Spanish.
Yeah, Vincent explained Vendetta. No, Oliver. Oliver explained vendetta and said about his last mission. Vera exclaimed her opposition. Oliver said that's always has been. Then here it comes. Here comes that teasing part, right? About being killer and things like that. Vera said, "What if you make a mistake? What if you're wrong?"
Stop it.
And then Finger said, "We make sure."
I so badly wanted to breeze over that moment.
We make sure, she said.
If someone's gonna be the killer, please let it be Fingers.
That's like all hinting this.
Let Durai go down twice.
Hinting all of these information. Do you think?
So you think that that's a sign that she's the one who killed,
or someone in the family, not necessarily her, but someone in the family.
It was that no matter what, it was a vendetta. Like that would be the sign.
Yeah.
Like that. Those are like the things that are aiming at it or directing towards it.
Yep.
Like if it's gonna be one of the family members that we know, that's not the boar, because the boar obviously doesn't have ties to the family. Let it please be Fingers.
That's
I don't have attachment to Fingers. I have attachment to the rest.
And then,
which is why I know one of them are gonna be the ones that die.
And then we go to Fingers talking to Vera, and she said that you're practically a princess, and Vincent said no, technically a princess.
Heavy, right?
I thought you were going to ease Vera in, not dump all of it on her at once.
That was. This is only the start. Every bit is important to fully understand who we are and why we do what we do.
And the reason you can tell me all of this now is because I'm one of you too? Since I'm blood?
But you're more than that. Like I said, you're royalty. Practically a princess.
You mean technically.
And then I said in here, there's a lot of this is like stupid AJ claims.
Yep.
She's like a Disney princess. She had her water moment, right? She got a mom issue, missing father, and being saved by a man. If you watch Wreck-It Ralph, the second Wreck-It Ralph, they mentioned this. And
they mentioned all of that. All the Disney princesses talked about Penelope.
Yeah, and a pet katana.
Katana.
So she is a princess.
No. She's holding it like, I don't want to let this go.
Yeah, she is a princess.
Mine.
Yeah,
Mine.
A water moment, missing mom issue, missing father, being saved by a man. Pet katana. Definitely a princess.
Okay, I'm gonna let that be. That was pretty good.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I have 4 daughters, so I should know this. Now there's
that's your life.
there's while they were talking, there's an alarm. Then Finger got up and took care of it, and we eventually found out that it was Nick Will Nicoma. We didn't know that at first when I listened to it.
I put notes in for that too. I was dying when that happened.
Yeah. Oliver told her that she can have a ring. Oliver gave her an update about Westport and Prim. He said that he does not know where they are, and then cut to the other gang. The other gang now are dealing with the muckrackers and plan to have them fall into a pit of stakes. You know, it's funny because I feel like this is what happened to our previous D&D journey. Remember the stakes that we put in the pit? That's all I can think of when I listen to this episode. And then they dealing with the muckrackers. And then Nick said, when it gets worse, I love this part. He said that when it gets worse, shoot them at their soft spot, the neck, like what his grandma said. It gives you a little bit of like, oh, Tanya. And then we noticed that sorry, never happened.
I'm okay never hearing that again.
I know.
Me too.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. And then
Get to that point in the podcast, like, skipping that.
Skip it.
And then these guys he said that these guys are smarter than these guys are smarter because they notice about the pit. They know that there's a trap there and things like that. They might be big, but I think they are smarter than the big ones from Sword Survival. It's giving me a little bit of flashback.
It helps that it's natural transformation at this point. It's not chemically infused transformation.
Right, yeah.
Because that's what they were. They were all chemically infused transformation.
It wasn't imperfect transformation, you know what I mean? It's just adaptation, basically.
Right.
Now the first one fell, then the second one seemed to notice the hole, and out of nowhere, a flying knife flew and hit the second one and dropped, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Fingers be the
Yeah,
killer.
and Fingers
What?
showed up. Fingers is so smart.
It definitely saw the pit. This one's not dumb.
Oh no, we need to find another hiding spot to...
Yo, nice shot. Good job, Nakoma.
That wasn't my knife.
Oh, don't look at me.
Don't move an inch or I'll drop you just the same. Weapons on the ground. Now!
Fuck.
I didn't even see her.
Me neither.
Wasn't hard with as much noise as you were making. No, I see you reaching for your little tube. Drop that too.
Damn it.
Okay, anyone else want to try something? Is that all the weapons you have on you?
Yep, that's it.
Good. Now go. Head back to wherever you came from. This land is occupied.
Without our guns?
I'm not going anywhere.
Nick, is
You
that...
could always handle your little intrusion in other ways.
Fingers is so smart and so cunning. They didn't, and she's living that whole Blackburn. You know what I mean? They didn't even notice her. Even Nakoma didn't notice her.
Yeah.
You know
Which
what I mean?
that says a lot.
That's just a lot. And she's so smart that she even noticed the blow dart or whatever weapon that Nakoma is pulling out.
Yeah, the tube.
Yep, the tube's like don't even try.
This is where I said that she's not Michael's killer, because she accurately got the muckraker down. I was like, oh, okay, that can't be it.
Yeah, because Michael's killer missed.
Bigger target could have missed the smaller body.
That and Michael was also quicker. These creatures are slow.
Yeah. And
Sorry,
Michael,
I'm just putting together that Michael was hit with a blade, wasn't he?
Yeah.
a knife.
Yep.
But Michael was also suspicious when that happened.
He was
you know what I mean?
alert,
Like he was
yeah.
alert. Like what is going on?
He was kind of like, what's going
Yeah.
on?
Hey, somebody there?
Something.
Ace, you might have turned my mind onto
Let's go.
Fingers being the killer.
I said that the first time. I'm the one who suggested that. No,
Ace, you
listen
might
to me.
be-
Okay, listen to me. You can do this to me in Dungeons and Dragons, but you cannot take this away from me. I'm the one who said that from the last episode.
You keep taking stuff away from me.
No. I said this from the previous episode. The kunai, her being that, like missing. This was my idea, okay? I gave Ace so many props about all of his stuff that he's saying. And you know what? I'm so mad about this, and then it turned out I'm wrong. I'm completely wrong. I feel like I'm Angela in Smosh. Like, I should behave. I should calm down. I'm an adult.
Better check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Now, while they were interacting with them, Will said, not like this is on pass. Will said, "Nick, is that?" and then cut off to Nick yelling. Right? Mm-hmm. I think Will saw the katana because I think Fingers and Vera switched. So she got the katana. Fingers gave Vera the blade, and then because you can hear Will saying, "Nick, is that?" and then it cut off. I don't
remember that part.
Yeah, there was that small part because I had to go back and forth. It's like, what did he see? Because he said, "Nick, is that?" I think Fingers was holding the katana, which it doesn't matter now because eventually we'll know that they saw each other.
It's also possible that like he saw something else. Like he could have seen a ring. He could have seen something like that because he could be one of the few people that has seen the ring from Prim and stuff like that. Like very low chance. I'm just like trying to say like other ideas.
Yeah.
Because that is the definite most probable idea.
Because I can't think of anything else that Will would have seen and told Nick right away.
That would have been big enough to stand out.
Yeah, and it would be the katana because they both seen it. They both familiar with it. You know what I mean? So I think that would be it. I don't think that would be the knife that he threw to the muckraker because Nakoma specifically said, I did not throw the knife. So it was a knife. It wasn't the katana.
Right.
Yes, that's what was thrown. And
Nakoma would have, seen and known what that katana is if it was thrown because she's the one who take care of it and cleaned it. So it wasn't the katana that was thrown. Now,
right.
Yeah. Now, Nick said, I'm here for Vera. And that, like, the whole... a mind of Fingers just dropped. Like, what?
Right.
And then he said that he followed him he followed Vincent, and I was like, "Oh crap, Vincent is in trouble."
I was like, busted.
Yeah,
dude, Fingers was pissed when, when she heard that.
yeah, he's in trouble.
Especially since one of the biggest parts of his job is don't get caught.
You're right. Yeah. Like being the family, like you're trained for this. You know what I mean? Like know how to do this.
He's not a Blackburn. He's a Chisholm, so he messed up. He messed up.
You have like 3 jobs, and you messed one of them up.
And
he done messed it up.
And also, he could have killed Nick, but he didn't. You know what I mean? Like
true.
Like at that moment, he could have killed him.
That's true.
But our Nick has plot armor, so
well,
he's
he
not
was
gonna
let him die.
No one has plot armor.
Nick has plot armor. Are you kidding me?
No.
Nick has plot armor.
No one has plot armor.
Like at least in this moment,
we've learned.
Eventually, probably not. He probably like a soul moment, but he has plot armor. Come on. Anyway, this is another big moment, big revelation. In this episode, this is my the first one is Durai Blackburn, right? And this is my second biggest revelation of this whole episode. Is the conversation between Vera and Vincent, Oliver. Why am I keep saying Vincent? Vera and Oliver, because they're both the same V. Vera and Oliver conversation. Oliver said you should take advantage of what you learn, because there might be a war happening.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
This is a big deal. Because even the head of the family is worried about this and hearing, information from deep pockets and things like that. He knows something's about to go down.
So I think he has like people from the Republic, from the UA, right?
Yeah.
Is it UA? And then Westport, of course, the Mullins or those guys.
Right.
That's crazy.
I really do think it has something to do with Hobbs. Like when it comes to Hobbs, the war and everything else. I think
Hobbs has a play in this.
Trying to roll something into play. Yeah.
Hogs.
Yeah, Hogs.
Hogs.
Right.
Sorry. Yeah.
Now we find out. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, there's one thing that I actually did miss.
Yeah.
Small backstep. With when Vincent deflected,
the question.
What does he know? Like,
yeah.
Because when he's saying that it needs to come from the boss, like, and he knows he made the right move, abducting Vera and stuff like that. Like, it just brought up the curiosity of what does he know? Because there's something he knows.
Yeah.
That's very clearly not being said yet.
I also like when when did Oliver say he just found this out? That he has Vera?
During the plane.
He said that he found it out on the flight.
Yeah.
So it's making me think, like, how long do you think would it take for him to give Vera, Ruth, and Dean the information? Hey, we have Vera.
Literally could have done it on the flight over.
Yeah. They could already
like on the same flight over, they could have given that information.
But did he?
I don't think that would take more than
but did he though?
A couple minutes.
That's the thing.
Did he report back to them that hey look?
Well, if they were there supposed to protect her, right?
Yeah.
So if it was a few hours ago and wow, my mind just went blank. Oliver was notified that she was on her way there. I mean, he'd probably be a little pissed at the three of them because he wasn't being protected.
Yeah.
I doubt they called Oliver and said, hey, by the way, we failed and she's not in the city anymore and we don't know where she's at.
Well, oh, no. I can almost guarantee that would have been information passed.
Yeah, I don't even think he will be mad. I think he's like, hey, it's not like she was harmed.
She's a soldier. She went out.
In her situation, it was all a coincidence because they don't know how it all started. Nick getting a fake mission, and then they took off.
Right.
Kind of tied Vera in. So it was all a coincidence that something went down.
So I don't think it was a rush for Oliver to let them know, hey, your mission is done. You can come back now, or assign you to a different mission.
Okay, possibly. I could see that.
Or just leave you there and be a spy. But either way, which by the way, that's in that next conversation, being a spy.
Right.
We find out about the spies. Vera found out about Dean, Mara, and Ruth.
Yeah.
Then Nick yelled, Vera. This is like the beginning of that whole Nick yelling. Nick, and then Fingers said that, all right, we're gonna do the QI test. Nick is still a little hesitant about that, which we know why. And then I literally just put in my notes. I didn't even put the whole conversation. I just said, Nick, so much yelling. That's it. That's all
my gosh.
Nick, so much yelling.
Oh my gosh. Does he ever stop?
Right. Here's my question before we go to the last part about Oliver telling Nick. Should we trust Oliver? And do you think he would do something with the group?
Well, he's allowing Vincent to fight him. So
do you think this is just all a face telling them you'll be safe here, you guys can stay here, or do you think?
Oh no, I don't think it's a face.
I don't.
You think
so.
He's gonna do something with Will, Nakoma, and Nick to get rid of them while they were staying there overnight?
I actually don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just going to side with fingers, looking forward to Nick and Vincent fighting each other.
Round 2. And we all know who's gonna win after that. Like Vincent easily took him down. Easily. Not even contest.
I hate how overconfident he is.
Yeah. No contest for sure.
Before I forget, can we confirm that he's practically immune?
Oh, yeah, it's for sure.
I know, but it's always just worded out. But this time,
well, he's been bit, and then they just
remember the whole plane ride?
He has a negative QI test, so he's.
Well, that's what I mean. This will officially made it because, like Nakoma said, he could be like a very slower, very slow turner.
Right.
I think even
this was the confirming point, though. Yeah,
I think
I see what you mean.
Scientifically confirmed.
I think my confirmation is, and this is not a for sure. Like this is the case with Boar giving whatever that thing that they found out to
the heartbeat test thingy.
No. They were passing an information. Remember, they're sending whatever that is, and we believe that is that was Nick's blood, and they found out that that's an immune blood. Yep.
Yeah, she had no doubt in her mind. She's like, no, but he's immune.
Yep.
Like, okay.
I guess.
Oh no, that's scary that you're that confident.
Right. Yeah.
Should be. Like, obviously should be.
Yeah.
But like, scary from someone in her position to be that confident about it.
Yeah.
Right.
That was crazy though.
Because she was only piecing it by the heart rate that they were checking on them. Like there was no heart rate change.
Yeah. She's like no speed ups and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's just like still normal, heartbeat still normal. So I could making that 90% that he's immune, but it's just that they finally got a QI test, and Finger said you're clear. That's like just making.
And he's like, really? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's his response.
What of it?
Yeah. And that definitely gave Nakoma peace of mind. Like, oh,
yeah,
exactly.
Right. Yeah, you are immune. Okay, I'm sorry, I doubted you, dog. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was so worried about you and almost.
Dude, you know, Nakoma was like looking over
Yeah.
Finger's shoulder. You sure?
Just double checking that one there, right, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
If you want, I can dart him so we can make sure that he's immune.
Do a quick little biopsy, double check.
Yeah. And then we end with the third biggest revelation on Nick's side.
Yeah.
You know, probably his biggest revelation. It's about Michael, and he said, "Hey, I'm sorry about your dad." And then Nick said, "Oh yeah, that was a long time ago." He thought he was talking about Saul.
Yeah, exactly. And then Baron realized he's like, "Oh, he doesn't know yet."
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Yeah. Because at this point, Saul is probably the hero of the whole, the whole United, if not the world, if they have the story of survival.
He's probably one of the only famous people left.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
like in the modern age.
Right. And then he said, "No, I'm talking about Michael, your other daddy."
Like, your other daddy.
What happened? And then Barrow right away, "Oh crap, that's right. I forgot about that information." Shoot, I knew that information.
That confirms something from like a year ago for us. She's known all along.
Oh yeah. In the chopper.
The thing that was said on the chopper was in fact that information there.
Yep. Because they were talking, and then Nick said, "Wait, what was
and
that?"
now I'm back to being mad at Vera for
yeah. Not the moment. No, dog. That was the moment. There was no other moment. That's it.
Yep.
You should have told him.
Like literally.
Yeah. There's no other
Done
moment.
screwed up there.
Yeah. That could have been the other.
Effed up, Ron.
And then she almost had that moment again when they were by themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before the arena fight, but no, she chose not to tell him. This is it.
Again.
Yeah, exactly.
Kid, you're really good at dropping the ball, I promise.
He said woman.
But knowing Nick with the way his attitude and reaction, do you think Vera made the right call?
No.
Absolutely not. No.
I mean, dude flips out about everything. So.
Yeah,
That's true.
The entire fight and entire art, like the entire goal, would have shifted for this entire story.
Yeah. Yeah.
The goal would not have been about, hey, save these people and we got to get out. It would have been, I have to get back and help and save my dad.
Right. Right.
And it could have entirely altered the entire character that is Nick.
Yeah. Now, do you think
100%?
Do you think this whole story
would have
could have had still happened? I think it could, cause
I definitely do.
Yeah,
no, I definitely think
Nick,
like it could have ended the exact same way.
Yeah, yeah. I think,
but
Nick,
the way the characters developed would have had
completely
new meaning.
Yeah.
Like holy crap.
No, I think it would have turned around because remember Nick made up the mission, and Vera assumed that it was a legit mission. Relay to the team, but when
but you're forgetting about Dean.
Dean.
Remember Dean fixed.
Yeah, because his best friend is Nick, so he just went with it, fixed it. But Vera doesn't know about it being a fake mission.
Yeah,
but I would believe that if Vera told Nick at that time in flight, he would reveal, "Hey, this is a fake mission. I made this up. Can we turn this around?"
Yeah, but what's stopping?
Go.
But what's stopping him from making that the same order again?
Well,
and what's making Vera think if this is a fake mission? Or
I would
not?
assume that he would just try to take care of his dad first, and then make sure that when things are done, then he will go back and hey, I need to go see what this diary means.
Yeah,
because he's following. I don't know the right word, but it's an assumption that they want him to go there.
Yeah.
So he would have chosen not to go, or to go.
And then you're missing the whole Lisa thing too.
Well, he
but that was an after.
No,
the fact.
That's what I'm saying. They will find out eventually that Lisa's chopper was stuck there.
Yeah, at the end. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. But that's if he gets back.
Yeah, so
they all found out that Lisa's chopper was down. Is when they were mid-flight heading towards close to the mission.
Yeah, but would the report, do you think, will go back to Westport?
Yeah, he would.
No.
Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying though. I'm saying everything probably would have happened the exact same way, but the entire story would have changed.
Oh, true. That's true.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that it would have stopped being about, oh, hey, we have to get out of here, and it would have been a mission for him to get back home to his dad. Like, it would have been a completely different type of urgency. Okay. So same way with Saul. When Saul has to get back to something, cool, I have to get back. It'll happen when it happens. When it's like someone important to him, when
Blondie,
when someone was in trouble, like he's like I'm going to move heaven and earth, and I'm going to get back. Like, you don't understand. Like, I'm going to do this.
But that's what I'm saying though. So like
everything shifts.
Thinking about Nick's persona, we're assuming now, right? This is like a theory,
right?
This is a what if scenario. So Nick told Vera, we gotta go back. They went back, right? Mm-hmm. They stayed there. He mourned about his dad maybe like a day or two before the information about Lisa's chopper went down in that area. Mm-hmm. Now Lisa's dead. Lisa and probably Alex survived, but Lisa's dead, right? But
not Alex would die at that point.
Oh yeah. So
Cole was chasing him. So.
Right, it's true. Yeah. So
slowly coming out.
That information will go back to Westport, and Nick find that out. Knowing Nick, do you think he will be like, "I'm gonna stay here with my dad"?
And no, but at the same time, like it would be done. Like, but and another point, he would have actually come in more likely to come into contact with Cole, and he would have never run into Nakoma.
Oh, I think he would. I think he would. I think Nakoma's staking that place.
You think that she'd be staking it for potential days?
Yeah, I think so.
Because that would be a lot. Like,
yeah, I think she is.
Especially for a tracker, because like once the tracker's like, oh, like this place is dead and gone, potentially seeing the actual, like seeing Cole or something like that. Like,
right.
I don't see a world in where she's like, yeah, let's just.
No, because I think she will be staking that place because she knows someone would still save the Guardians, so more Guardians will go there, and Guardians are potential.
Even that's such a strong maybe.
Yeah, they're strong players, and she's proud of the Guardians. I think so, but we're just assuming now.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are all what if scenarios.
Big assumptions right
there. Yeah. Now we ended with the biggest information about Oliver. I mean, with Michael dead, and then Nick's. I almost said Saul. Nick's world collapsed.
Yeah, even more.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster for sure, because you have that. I need to save Vera, and then you saw Vera. I feel good. She's alive. My father's dead.
Oh, we did it. Yeah. It's the whole like, hey guys, we did it. We made it.
Yeah.
What you say?
Yeah. It's definitely a roller coaster. But oh my gosh, what an episode.
Yeah.
Golly.
That was good.
Crazy.
It was a great episode. I am so happy that I'm alive in this moment.
Yeah, I got the information.
This is definitely my second favorite moment of my life. Not including my marriage and my kids. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about.
I was kind of hoping you were just going to say my marriage, and I was going to say, what about your kids?
So finding out. My first one is finding out what's the dang One Piece, and then this. I want to know. I want to know those two information.
The moment he's waiting for all.
Notice
his
how
life.
none of us were on that list anywhere.
I'm not surprised. I think he had his.
No, here's my layer, right? Finding the One Piece, finding about the ending of We're Alive, the family, all in all, and finding out who's Wakka's marrying. That's my top 3.
Why do you want to throw that info out there?
No.
Why?
That's it. When I fulfill those 3 things.
Because it's AJ.
But what a freaking episode! What? Oh my gosh,
Threw
bro.
me out there.
That's definitely like where in I still need that. Where in We're Alive universe do you think he would rank this episode?
Who?
Like, what is the biggest wow moment in comparison to this episode?
That's hard with
it is
freaking
hard.
14 years of.
No, just on top of your head, what do you think is like this episode is definitely like in line with this other episode?
Oh, like the impact is equal to another episode.
Impact or
when it comes to
like
when it comes to information.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
When it comes to information.
Maybe
like
I don't know.
When we all thought Blondie was raped and
Oh my
pregnant
gosh,
with another dude,
was
when she's
hard.
like, "Oh, is she pregnant?" What?
That was so hard. I came on this show after that.
Boom!
But I remember that.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that was like almost there.
Especially because I loved Blondie. Like Blondie was awesome.
Yeah.
And I still remember when I got to the part where she died.
Yeah.
And I blew you guys up, and I'm like, no.
I remember that. Yeah.
Dang.
But it could be how about the end of lockdown? Do you think the end of lockdown in that information of Jeremy killing Simeon?
I mean, for me, I think that those were these have been two of like the biggest like what the heck moments.
Yeah.
And of course they're both family related.
Right.
But I mean, it's because of moments like that. And like with what happened with Angel when you found out he was family, like those are 3 of my top like information, like what the F's like moments, because they can come out of so far left field.
Yeah.
And it's all such a big thing that's like a hard pill to swallow sometimes.
Right. And then satisfaction wise is the Scratch. The death of Scratch, or when
the way
honestly that was like super satisfying, but it was like terrifying too.
Yeah, terrifying.
That was tough.
But information wise,
Bert went big.
Yeah. But information wise, we know just like now we know. Okay, we know that she was there. She's not just she's gone in rubble and maybe alive someday. No, she's stuck there.
To this day, I'm curious if the family knows that of how Scratch and Latch were killed.
Yeah.
Wasn't
feel like they
Scratch
have
buried
to be.
alive?
I feel like they have to be.
Wasn't Scratch buried alive?
Yeah.
Yes.
In the rubble.
And we never really confirmed that.
Oh no, Casey confirmed it.
Oh, he did.
100%. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No. She done.
Yeah, she's done.
Like,
that's what Casey.
Here's
said.
the thing: like they would have needed like insane modern tools anyways in order to get her out.
Yeah.
Because he literally said, "You're buried under the rubble of the tower."
The old tower. Yeah.
I just wonder how he got that.
And there was cement put on top of it.
Yeah, like a man-made.
So
like
it was like, it's like you're not getting out. Plus, by the way, you're really not getting out. Like, if one of those two things happen, she's not getting out.
Yeah,
both happen.
Yeah, yep.
Like, holy.
Yeah, but that was. Oh my god, I cannot wait for the next episode. Thank God we don't have a break in this next week.
I'm looking forward to it.
So we'll find out. All right. Well, if you enjoyed that episode, if you think my claims are ridiculous, which you probably think, and Casey, if you think my claims are right, please let me know.
Or if any of our claims are right, let us know.
If any of our claims are right, yeah.
We're definitely open.
That was a fun episode. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. Oh, yeah.
Before we go, put in the comments, like, favorite family moments or biggest aha moments. I would love to hear other people's. Like, I'd love other perspectives from that.
Yeah, I wonder if there's still a hidden family member, that we know this character and then found out that they're family member.
I feel like they're going to start popping up a lot. Yeah, I feel like we're going to start seeing several.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely not. I don't know. It's weird. All right, like what if Riley's family? What I mean? It's highly unlikely, but it's still because.
The story of survival would have been very different.
Yeah.
I secretly thought it was Nakoma.
Especially after seeing the ring.
Yeah, Nakoma definitely not a family.
Yeah, she didn't know how to get in, nor none of them know her.
Yeah. I love
If she could have gotten in without getting caught, I would have been suspicious.
Right. Do you guys remember Will's reaction when he entered the room? Like, oh my god, that's huge. Kid. This is a kid that came from Prim, okay? Right. Prim was huge, and it's like, oh my gosh. It's hilarious.
He's seen all the boars, like fantastical stuff, and still starstruck by this room.
It was good. All right, that's it. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, son.
Thank God you said bye, son. This time on point.